Hello, hello. Hello.
Good morning.
Hey, Mike. Can you hear me?
Yeah,
Yeah. I
I
can't.
can hear you. Yes, it's just. Hmm?
Hang on, because I seem to have a little bit of difficulties myself. Strangely, I can't see you. Oh,
I
there
can
you
see
are.
me. Not the.
Yes, there you are. I can see the lake in the background.
Yeah, well, that's me. Sorry, I'm sort of backlit here.
Yeah, it's my same problem for me. I'm always trying to strategically position because I've got a bright window, huge window to that side, and I've got bright stuff to that side. So I really have to put the camera on a
Yeah,
strategic
you know what?
position also.
Maybe I can do a bit better than that without unplugging my laptop.
Ah, that's better. Hey, Antonio.
Let's see here. Oh, that is a bit better.
Yes, it is. Ah, it's nice to see you in the clubhouse. What time is it for
Well, I've
you?
never tried one. Hi, Antonio.
Yeah, we can't hear Antonio. Antonio has been trying out I don't know how many different setups to get this to work.
Well, I
Hi,
did
Larry.
literally nothing.
Wow, getting busy.
Yes, yes, yeah.
Hello, Mike.
Hi, Larry.
Good to see you.
Yes, good to see you finally.
Talk to you a lot on the internet, but not in person. So, how do I sound, Gert?
Hey, you sound very good. Yeah, sounds great.
Oh, good. Yeah, different headsets and worked with the computer and found a friend I could talk into getting on G Plus and actually listening to me on the other end of it. So,
Right.
because I can't hear myself
Yeah, yeah,
except after you post the recording, and then I go, oh no.
yeah. Yeah, that's what I
I was
usually
doing
do
that.
when I have to record something myself. It's like just record it along several times and then change the volumes afterwards with the band and stuff like that. Yeah, it's difficult
Yeah,
to evaluate that by yourself if you're just speaking through that
it is. I
microphone.
used to run sound for a church. And we had, anywhere from a 4 to 10 piece band playing, plus the minister.
Right.
And so I had to worry about live sound and recorded sound off the live setup, which meant I didn't know anything until after I got back and listened to it and go,
Right.
uh-oh,
Uh-oh.
how am I going to fix that next time?
Yeah. That's nowadays there's so many nice tools for that that didn't have even 5, 6 years ago. It's,
Yeah, it was nice to have that stuff. I used Audition 3,
mhm.
which gave me a fair amount of control, but again, because I was using one setup for live and recorded, you have limitations.
Right. Yes, of course.
Because I had two different onstage monitor channels, so everybody was in everybody else's microphone to some degree.
Yeah, and the more microphones you add, the more trouble you get.
hmm it was a very educational experience. Unfortunately, the church has now sold their building and has basically gone away, so I miss all that fun stuff.
Yeah, yeah, it sounds like fun. So,
It
Mike, I don't
was.
know if you. I'm just saying it from the beginning because Duncan was surprised about that 2 weeks ago. I'm streaming this live out over a live stream also, so that people that weren't able to join the clubhouse will be able to watch it later on. So,
Yeah, I watched a couple of those.
okay,
They look neat. Do I sound horrible?
you sound great.
Oh, okay. I'm literally just turned on the laptop and I'm
Yeah,
using its mic.
yeah. There's a tiny little bit of echo, but it's okay. It's fine. Antonio, how are you doing? We can't hear you.
You're a very quiet fellow.
Uh,
Yeah, Antonio just posted a whole detailed setup of what he did. We're getting everything through the mixes, and it's much more difficult if you want to play the Eigenharp at the same time, because then you get this
yeah,
problem of the audio of the Eigenharp having to get into Google Plus, but you have to hear the Eigenharp and the others at the same time, while not sending the others back to Google Plus to prevent creating a feedback loop. So it's no, Antonio, still nothing.
yeah. I haven't gotten to that part yet because I'm on a different computer. I'm using a PC for the Hangout here.
Right.
Um, so I would have a whole whole other line of cables and mixers, and maybe someday.
Right. But I figured out that actually it's the easiest way sometimes is just to plug in a real cable instead of doing it through software. So since I have to stream this out also over live stream, I have another set of connections that have to be made. So I'm just doing that through physical connections because otherwise it gets into a big mess.
Yeah.
So how have you guys been? Mike, it's been a long
Well,
time
I'm
since
doing
we've
pretty
seen
good.
something from you.
I've been good, Gert. I do have a question for you.
Sure.
I have the same mic as you, I think, the DPA mic.
Yeah.
And the little rubber elastic rotted.
Oh, really?
And it comes with a bunch of elastics, but it's not obvious how to get them through the little hole.
Huh. Well, this
So,
is actually, the elastics come from DPA itself. The only thing that's done to the mic is we put this plug on the other end so that it can plug into the alpha.
I know that. I just wondered if you'd had to do it yourself and, I don't know, used a toothpick or whatever.
I do think I pulled it apart at one time. I can't remember how. Because I tried it out initially to see if the rubber mount actually did help, because I was using another microphone first. I tested a few of them for Eigenlabs, and initially I didn't have this rubber thing for the DPA microphone. Just they left it in the office or something like that. So I had a lot of shocks going on. So I remember doing something about it, and I think I just pried it open somehow.
I don't mean the mount for the mic itself. I mean the little Dewey that goes on the breath pipe.
Ah, okay.
That little elastic thing that goes around the breath pipe, yeah. It just rotted. I don't know if it got too much sunshine or what. You know what? I'll deal with it somehow.
Well, this is something that is Eigenlabs related, so you definitely have to send us a mail about it. I was thinking about the other part, but this part, those are just elastics, I think. Let me see if
I'll see if I can find it. Hold on. He said disappearing into the hinterland.
I think so. The hard piece where you plug the microphone onto, is that still intact, or is it just the elastics that are broken?
I can show you. He said, looking for his bit and pieces. Okay, can you see that?
Yeah.
Here, let me put my cell phone so I can see what I'm showing you. Oops. So this piece is fine.
Yeah.
And it works just great. Okay. And it's a great mic, by the way.
Yeah, it is. It's very sensitive, though. You got to be careful when you play live with it.
Whoops. Where the hell is that? There. It's this little piece and the elastic that goes through it that rotted.
Okay, so what I think, from looking at how it's put together on my end, I think you can just take an elastic band that is about the right diameter and plug it through the hole.
Just stuff it. Yeah. Just stuff it through there with a toothpick.
Yeah, you just pinch it together and then push it through it. That seems to be how it's done. The trick is to get the right length.
I'll take a crack at it. Like I say, I'm thinking it might be one of those things you don't want to leave. This is the piece. Whoops. This little rubber thing is the piece that you were playing with.
Yes.
Yeah.
Which is very important.
Yeah, it seems pretty sturdy.
If you don't have that rubber thing, the slightest little vibration on the alpha gets into the microphone. Oh, who's that? That's Antonio. We can hear you. Hey, Drachika, how are you?
I think so. Hi, everyone.
Yeah, we can hear you now.
Hello, I'm fine.
Yes.
Sorry, I had to find the mic. I'm normally have it on mute.
So I read that you're traveling today. Where tomorrow? Where are you going to? You're muted.
Geneva.
Oh, wow. Quite a long delay there. Is that for work?
It's a workshop for an upcoming conference, and let's see. Maybe I get to speak about the Eigenharp or something.
Cool.
So it's just a chance of maybe 1%, but I thought, let's try.
Of course, yeah. You never know who you're gonna meet and
Yeah.
what you're able to talk about.
Yeah.
Yeah, when I went to San Francisco a couple of months ago, where there was this presentation with Roger Lin and stuff like that. A couple of days before, we were not even sure where we're gonna talk. It was just one thing confirmed, and arriving there, just the whole 5 days were filled up with people that wanted to, to have us talk about it and show it, and so it can fill up pretty quickly.
Yeah, Gert, it looked like you had a great time on that trip.
Oh, it was awesome. It was really nice. Yeah.
San Francisco's awesome.
Very nice to be back in San Francisco also. I used to go a lot over there when I was working for Terracotta before. Because they're based in San Francisco. But they always had us work very late hours just to make up for the time of flying all developers over. And this was it was a fun trip, meeting a lot of people and being able to get out there instead of sitting in an office coding away. So I had a lot of fun indeed.
Did you ever get to Eddie Rickenbacker's bar?
Which one is that?
Eddie Rickenbacker's bar in San Francisco.
No,
they have all sorts of old motorcycles hanging from the ceiling and all over the place.
People told me about that. Yeah, never been.
Yeah, it's a very, very unusual place.
I love Blues at Lou's. You ever been to Blues at Lou's?
But you told me, Mike,
right
when I was there, you told me that I should check it out. I remember that, but I never had time to actually.
Really small venue, very tiny. Probably.
So I see if I ever go to San Francisco, I get tips here.
Oh yeah. We all have our favorite places.
And also, and give yourself about 3 or 4 weeks to visit all the great places.
Definitely.
A lot there.
So Mike, what have you been up to on the alpha? It's been a long time since we've seen something from you.
Not much actually. I've been mostly playing other stuff in the last month.
Ah, you got the
In
movie
fact, I
cars and
realized
stuff
this
like
morning when I went to power it up, I got old software all over the place. So that gives me a project for today.
Right. I've been doing upgrades this weekend also.
Yeah. Does the new version of Contact work on Lion?
Yeah, it does. Yeah, even Contact 4 did. It worked fine. So. Yeah.
Oh, despite the fact that they said it didn't.
Yes. Well, actually, it doesn't work in 64-bit. It doesn't work in 64-bit, but it does work in 32, and Eigenharp hosts it in 32-bit, so that's fine.
Yeah. I've been thinking of buying the upgrade. And I see Motu has out a thing that it claims will play all of the Contact.
Yeah, I'd have to try that out. There's probably a little thing that they don't mention is that Contact has got encrypted libraries now. So if you buy something from a third-party vendor, they have, what is it called, NKX files instead of NKI and NKM, and the NKX ones are encrypted and need to be authorized through the Native Instruments Service Center. So if you don't do that, then you can't actually read those files. Only Contact can read that through some kind of a key exchange once it starts reading the files. So you can't actually get yourself at the samples. So I'm really wondering if Modo is able to do that. If they can, it would be interesting, because I've been wanting to extract some samples for some of the instruments that I bought like that, and convert them into sound fonts and stuff like that. But I can't do it. So.
Well, I'll probably end up buying the Motu thing at some point. So
cool. Let us know how
I'll let you know.
Works. Yeah. Hey, Antonio, I tried out the piano tech thing that you talked about last week. That sounds nice.
Very nice.
Very nice sounds.
I think their approach is the future, maybe combining sampling and virtual acoustic, that kind of thing. I prefer it maybe to just sampling.
There's some interesting, nice responsiveness also. Some of this, when you start playing with dynamics, you can hear the whole sound change. It's not samples playing softer or louder.
Yes. It's very configurable. Things you don't get through sampling, mic positionings, I think, sort of things. And I think it's a good plugin. Very good one.
Have you guys checked that out, Piano Tech?
No.
It's
do they have a try it version, or do you just have to buy the whole package?
There's a trial version with a little
okay.
bit annoying though, because let me type in the name of the thing, Piano Tech. It's in the chat to the left. It's a little bit annoying because that trial out has got a couple of notes disabled, which is a weird way to do tryouts. It's like you're playing a piece and then, oh, that note is missing. I can't play that piece.
Yeah.
So anyway, but
in a way, it's very, very, probably very effective to get you to buy it.
Yes.
Yeah.
And they've got different versions. They've got a play version where you can't change that many things, and then it ranges up all the way to a professional version. That's 4 times the price. But the play version is about €100, I think. It's quite a good price.
Right. Yeah. I'm definitely thinking about it. I think Complete 8 is the next one, but then that piano is probably second in line.
Yeah, because the pianos that are shipped with, Complete, I don't like them very much. I don't know if anyone has tried them.
Okay.
But they sound a bit dull and lifeless to me.
Yeah,
I typically use Ivory for piano. It's really
Ivory.
And what is that? Is that a sampler instrument or?
Yeah, it's just a sampler.
Yeah, it's pure samples.
Yeah, a rumpler, more like that.
Just checking it out. Ivory Grand Pianos, is that it? From Synthogy?
Yeah.
Yes.
They have a marvelous Bosendorfer that's really wonderfully resonant.
I have to check it out. Okay, 77 gigabytes of grand piano. That's a lot.
Yeah, it's pretty much everything. They also have sustain samples and resonance samples. Well, I'm telling you, it's sounding pretty good even over these little speakers.
What are you
talking
about?
Is
playing reversed notes or something? It sounds reversed, like you.
Over here?
Yeah.
It's a great effect, even if it isn't intentional.
Yeah, it is.
Maybe it's the connection. I don't know.
You're reversing all the sounds coming out of your Eigenharp. Maybe it's interesting.
I'm not doing that. Strange.
There's something definitely very weird going on. It's like,
my goodness.
Yeah, it's not easy to connect everything up. So yeah, I'm probably going to do my first Belgian gig with the Eigenharp on Saturday. Well, we've got a gig with the band, and it turns out we need to play longer than I thought. So I think we'll do some cover songs with the Eigenharp and record it. I think it would be fun. It would be fun to do. My girlfriend singing and me playing on the Eigenharp. Let's see how it goes.
Cool.
Wish I could be there.
Yeah, it's a long way to travel.
It would have been interesting to see John Nolan's talk.
Yeah. I'll see with him if he can record it. It would be a good thing. I'm sadly not able to make it up there, so otherwise I'd record it. But let's see. Just checking.
Yeah, it's a bit of a hike for some of us.
Oh yeah. Just checking on the price of those grand piano things. Oh, okay. You need an iLok key also. It's $350 for a piano.
Yeah, and the thing about iLok keys is the key is like $50, and they want $50 to ship it.
Yeah, I know. I've got one. I've got a bunch. I've got one of the latest ones for some of the plugins I have, but I hate those keys.
Yeah, so do I.
In a digital area, in a digital era. Sorry. I mean, shipping stuff around the globe. Can't we just ship data?
Well, it's the physical protection that they're supposed to, protect their market with. But it's so frustrating that sometimes you go to a gig and you get all anxious. Did I take my iLok key with me? If I didn't, I can't play. It's like very frustrating.
Yeah.
Gert, do you have John Morley in your circles?
I don't know.
Luck Seeker?
He's on Twitter, but not in my circles.
Yeah, he actually is on G+. The only reason I ask is
I
just got
yeah, he's on my circles.
Okay, well then I'll Twitter back to him because it sounds like he would be interested in joining. He just doesn't know how.
Yeah, well, he just has to have a webcam.
Yeah, he just has to go there.
Have to have a webcam and click join the Hangout.
We'll see.
I've been working on this, which is I've got a volume pedal, and then you've got strings coming in at the same time. This is something I've started to do is holding down my left-hand keys for a longer time, as if when you play the bass notes on the guitar, but holding them down afterwards and have strings come in. Maybe I can do it without having the foot pedal connected. Let's see if I can. Where is that? I quite like this acoustic guitar sound. It's actually just from Omnisphere. You're using Omnisphere, Drahika, right?
Yes, a lot, actually, quite interesting stuff.
That's stuff that I've been doing.
I like it.
It's a cover version of a Muse song that I'm not trying to sing. I can't sing that. It's nice.
It's getting shape. Yeah.
What I'm trying to do with Omnisphere is have something. I sometimes have also sounds that come in pretty late, so that I can actually have. If I play fast, I have one sound, and if I keep pressing the keys, slowly something else comes in really, really late, and this is really fun because people don't know what's happening.
Yeah, I like to do that also. Yeah, it's also if you work with the velocity, having stuff come in later, but having the first things react very heavily to velocity, so that you can just brush the keys very slightly and then have still sounds come in afterwards, and don't have that first sound trigger just because you play it softly.
Yeah.
I like doing that. Also.
Yeah, exactly. Things like this. This is really fun to do.
Yeah. So you've been playing your Moog guitar, Mike? What's that? Can't hear you, Mike.
That's because I'm muted.
Yeah.
I've been mostly playing this.
What's that?
It's a Harmos guitar.
Never heard of it.
No, they're fairly hard to find. So they're electric, he said, bashing his light. And they're a space frame, so they have a very high resonant frequency.
Ah.
Let me see here if I can. So they're sort of bizarre sounding things. But I'm having a lot of fun with it. That kind of stuff.
All right. It's a bit like a lap steel, but with some other sounds in it.
It actually is a lap steel, as you can see by the height of the strings.
All right. Yeah.
And the fact that it doesn't have any real frets. But they're it took me a year and a half to find one. They're hard to come across.
I like the look.
Very futuristic. It's a nice blend.
And then, yeah, this thing.
Yeah. You like it?
I love it.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a plug. And you can actually play it entirely with the steel. I don't know if I can do this so it can be seen. So, anyways, weird instrument.
I think I'd have to try out the Moog lap steel because I think that might be very suited to what they're trying to do. But the regular electric guitar, I tried it out at Musikmesse in the beginning of the year, and I thought it kind of wasn't very physically.
Yeah, the
very
lap
suited
steel's
for
very.
what it was trying to do.
It's very
getting it
thorough,
sustained.
and it really works with their filters.
Right.
The normal guitar, typically it's too sharp.
Yeah.
Although, I mean, it's got the sustain.
Yeah, it felt a bit weird. I couldn't really, didn't feel anything happening when I was trying it out. I was like, okay, yeah, well, a little bit like that new Gibson guitar. What is it called again? The Firebird X.
Oh, the Firebird.
Yeah, it was like, okay, well, it sounds like crap. bad DSP.
Yeah, I've got their other one, the Les Paul.
Uh-huh.
But it's not bad. It's good for playing with different tunings. Right. Not as good as the Eigenharp.
No, that is something that I love so much about it. It's just being able to say, oh, you can't sing in this tuning. Okay, no problem. Let's just take it down. Oh, is that still too high? Let's just take it down again. It's awesome. It's awesome for rehearsals.
And you can be whatever instrument you like to be.
That's true.
Or play it. Yeah, that's fantastic. Absolutely. Since the age of the MIDI, I've been experienced that I can be sort of a guitar player or whatever I feel like, and it's fantastic. More with the alpha, it's wonderful.
Cool.
It's better, or it's getting.
Is that using the piano tech stuff?
No. This is accordion. This is it's samples from Best Service, I think.
I like how you can hear the keys. It says that you can really hear yourself pressing.
Yeah.
It's as if you're pressing really down on keys.
Yeah, I try to configure it a little bit, but time is always the difficult. But I use pressure. But I think I can be more expressive with it Sorry.
Nice.
It's not even in C. Let me see. Yeah. Okay. Can be very expressive with it. By now I can play this piece and some others. To hear Richa Galliano play the accordion, the real one. This is somehow the version from him from the Bach. And it's got a nice sound.
Yeah, I like it. It sounds very nice.
Yeah. Have to Okay, it can be.
Do you have pitch bend turned on or not?
Yeah, it's off. It's off.
That's what I was thinking.
Accordion.
Yes.
Yeah, accordion. Accordion doesn't have
No.
pitch bend. I think it's definitely impossible. It's off.
No, because I was seeing you playing these huge stretches with your fingers, and I always have trouble.
Yeah.
You're playing
Yeah.
pitch bends correctly when you're doing stuff like that.
Yeah.
That is a great piece of music for the native cello.
Yeah, I talked to Gert about it and John, I think also, to develop the cello with a different approach, because I think this one it's not possible to play like this, or I don't know. Sometimes some time ago I tried, but I don't think it's possible.
Well, I know it's possible to play it badly with the native cello. I can prove that.
This is a cello.
By the way, have you guys tried X Resonance as an effect plugin for the cello?
I started setting it up after you posted about it in the forums.
Yeah, I remember also, yeah.
And then it kind of got busy with other stuff and forgot about it.
I use it for the cello, and I use it for a lot of guitar sounds. If you get carried away with it, you can really almost make the sound of an instrument with sympathetic strings, like what's the thing Harry Manx plays? It's an Indian guitar with sympathetic strings on it.
A sitar, maybe? No.
Well, no.
Dulcimer? No.
It starts with D.
Dulcimer?
No, but it doesn't matter. Anyways,
Yeah.
you can get some good sympathetic string sounds out of that effects unit.
Yeah.
It's the only point.
So you set it up in the tuning that you wanted to resonate with, right?
Exactly. So you pick the frequencies of the resonant strings, and typically you would set it up for the key of the piece it's in, the same way you'd tune real resonant strings to, yeah.
Yeah, I wanted to try it out, but didn't get to it. It's on my radar again now.
What was that called?
X resonance.
It's hard to find. There's a link to it on my blog, but it's not.
Okay.
It's no longer in production. The guy just has it on his webpage.
I'll go check out your blog then.
I pasted it in the chat to the left.
There's a chat.
Yeah, if you click on the icons at the bottom, you've got chat.
Oh, neat. Yes,
Very
that's
good.
it.
Thank you.
Hey, Gert, how come you knew that link before I did? That's pretty good.
Because I already pasted it in Google. I was like, okay, let's multitask.
There's the ministry flying over in their helicopter.
Huh? So, have you guys tried out the latest releases?
Yeah, I just downloaded 1+1.5. Just have to try it out to see your great work. You
Our
always,
great work.
oh,
It's
yeah.
we're a team.
Okay. Yeah,
It's,
but I think it's getting there. 1.3, I think it's done.
I think so. Yeah, I think
I
we're
see.
gonna release it
Yeah,
in stable this week. It's
yeah,
been a while since we've got anything serious reported against it. It's mainly just
yeah.
beautifying stuff in stage and things like that. Thanks a lot for the things you reported, by the way. It's very
Yeah, no
helpful.
problem. Okay.
So yes, finally we'll be able to ship stage on the new Eigenharps, and people that start off with it can see what that's about.
Yeah.
Oh, is it buyable now?
Not the iPhone app, not yet. But Stage as the
Oh, okay.
software
Sure.
to just use it on the computer. But we're putting the final touches on the iOS version. But I read through the lengthy documents on the Apple website about everything you have to, make sure that you pay attention to, and there's a bunch of things that we have to change just to make be able to get through the acceptance phase. So that will take up a little bit of time. But once
But
that
it
is
can't
done,
be this complicated. Because I haven't written an app. There is something where you can download an app maker for your blog, and they want $900 to put it to the licensing process. So I said to my friend, okay, I have the iOS dev license. I'll try to put it in the shop, and it's actually in the shop, and it can't be this complicated.
it's a whole series of things you have to respect once you start using. Once you're, for example, there's one thing when your app relies on Wi-Fi. You have to go through a whole series of steps so that you pop up the right dialogue at the right time, and that you allow people to still select it if Wi-Fi is not connected, and you have to use their dialogues. And since we use the Juice framework to abstract ourselves from the operating system, we can't use Juice dialogue. So we have to plug in the Apple API somehow into the Juice application lifecycle, which is not as trivial. So.
No, just to say they are not really picky. I mean, I have met really picky things like Microsoft Xbox or Sony are really picky. Apple is probably looking right, but they are not really breathing down your neck.
Okay, well, I'm gonna try to get it into the acceptances for the first time, but that's why I read through the document, and the most important things that they mention, we at least should try to get those right.
Probably, yes.
Yeah, so,
better than upgrading later.
Yeah, so just being refused and then go through the whole process again, and they might take a bit longer the next time around and stuff like that. So.
And they probably know what they want because they have experience what works.
Definitely,
so.
Yeah. But I think it's on the right track. I use it every day on the iPhone, on the iPad 1 and iPad 2. Every time when in the studio, and it's on the right track.
Yeah, I just discovered the other day. I didn't know it actually worked, but you can use multi-touch with Stage on the iPad. I wasn't aware of
that.
Yeah. I didn't know it myself. It's one of the nice things of working with a framework that does stuff for you. I think Juice had that figured out. So, fun.
That's nice. Yeah.
What I didn't know that Max MSP uses Juice.
Yes.
More or less, they use Juice for the new one. They won't, but that's how I found it in the forum. But it's really
a lot of
people.
Think about it. The people, what are they called again? That do those analog synth simulations. What are they called again?
Analog.
With the modeled analog stuff?
Yeah. What's their name again? They've got
Arturia.
Yeah, Arturia, that's it.
Arturia? Okay.
All Arturia stuff is written with Juice. So, yes, a lot of people are using it. which is a benefit.
No, that's Chinese for me, but no problem.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, we've got a whole range of people here, technical-minded
Yeah.
people and musicians and.
But that's always nice. Yeah.
There's me going, what are you guys talking about?
Yeah.
Huh?
Juice? The orange juice?
George. Yeah.
Grape
No,
juice? What are you?
Apple juice.
Apple juice. Yeah.
It's surprising to me how many developers find their way to Eigenharp.
Yeah, it's a geekish instrument.
Yeah, apparently.
It's appealing in many ways, I think.
If I have to explain to people what the Eigenharp is, I always tell them it's an Xbox controller, but just bigger and better.
Okay, I'm not talking to you anymore.
But it works. People get more of an idea if I tell them it's a keyboard where you have more control. They look at me funny. But if I tell them it's something like a game controller, but it's just better and it's more sensible and you can do more stuff with it, they somehow get more into the right mind frame into what it is.
Yeah, I always find it absolutely fascinating to let somebody play with the instrument because, I mean, they started going, what the heck is this? But it somehow is completely natural and they understand it very quickly.
Yeah.
And to a person, they go, well, that's not what I expected at all. Which is, and many of them have seen it. There was a fellow, I think he was on Twitter, that found me, and I wandered into Toronto to show it to him. And he really expected a controller, like literally just a controller.
Right.
It's so much more. It's so much more. I love the phrase on the site. I don't know if it's John's phrase, but the most expressive instrument. And it's getting there, definitely. Absolutely. And I play a bunch of them all, yeah. The range of possibilities
is a wide range. One thing I want to use it for is to use it not only as an instrument, but also as a controller. Like split the keyboard and then just use it. Well, I'm in Ableton a lot. And you can select clips in Ableton to play them.
Right.
Yeah.
And I wanted to have part of the keyboard that would allow me just to use that, kind of like you use a launch pad or something. And then have the other part playing actual instruments, either Eigenharp instruments or Ableton instruments, and have the combination of the two. So that's what I'm starting to try to figure out right now.
Okay, what you basically can do if you create a regular split, and you send, let's say this is a regular instrument sound, and then you can set this one to MIDI. This just sends MIDI notes, and you
one
can
or
play
two
those separately. So this is one sound, and this sends out to MIDI, and then you can control whatever you like. And if you go through the routing matrix, you can even start sending out program changes at the bottom, or whatever you want. You can really configure what MIDI will be sent out through that MIDI output. So yeah,
that's my next big learning curve.
Yeah, actually,
as if I don't have enough.
it's really useful to do that. I don't have it set up at the moment, but I had a set up for playing the mode via control voltages, but I was mostly playing, I don't know if you guys have ever heard of this thing, Mogerfoger?
Yeah, I was looking at it when you set it up.
Yeah, and these things, you can play these filters. So you can, for example, play formants and do vocal stuff with it. If you set up one keyboard to play the filters, key group to play the filters, and then the other one to play whatever you want to filter.
Yeah.
Cool.
What I'm looking forward to is to have visuals controlled by Eigenharp. Not only by the sound I play, but also by a split keyboard, maybe just one row, and then have it go either to max MSP or to processing and to have the visuals. So I can control the visuals. That's what I'm working towards. So that's more or less sound and visual experience.
Yes, I think that's a,
Yeah,
that's a
that
very
quartz
good road to be
composer
on.
thing. Sorry, Kurt.
Oh, go ahead, Mike.
Well, I was just saying that quartz composer thing that was around early on was great.
Yeah.
I guess it sort of went away.
Well, there wasn't that much interest in it, and it's still out there somewhere. It's Stewart. What is Hexstatic? What's his band name?
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, he did quite some neat stuff with it. So yeah, that was one of the first things that was done when the Eigenharp was released. So, and it's much more configurable now. So you're definitely able to do a lot of things with that, Rachika.
Yeah, for me it's easy to do it somewhere else. I want to do the stuff anyway. I have. Sorry, that's my coffee machine. If you hear it, I don't know. I have quite a lot done quite a lot of things in processing, and it's more or less easy because processing can use MIDI or I can use OSC messages.
Yeah.
And I've looked also at Max MSP at the jitter stuff because I need it for something else, and so it's actually not a problem because you have MIDI and you have nowadays any way you can connect it to something visual and do something with it.
Yeah, there's a bunch of programs that allow us by now to communicate by MIDI. I'm remembering. I haven't done anything like that, but I know Modulate. It's also working with video, little pieces, and through OSC or MIDI we can control it with the Eigenharp. Yeah. I don't know, Dachika, if you know Modulate.
No.
No.
Oh, yeah, I think I have heard of it and I've looked at it.
Yeah.
But what I want to do is 3D stuff.
Okay.
Some crazy procedural stuff I have in mind. Now I have done some test programs in processing already, which I can control with my iPad. And now I want to do it with iPad and Eigenharp and have just people not knowing what's going on. I think that's also a nice part.
I think the key there is people being surprised about what's going on, but still seeing that connection. The fact that you're actually in control and that it's not something that has been scripted and just goes on in the background. And that, I think that's the difficult part of getting across, because people are so used of seeing sequence things and triggers that just launch a whole bunch of stuff. It's definitely quite tricky to come up with some kind of visual representation or model or even sound that changes over time and that people can see that you're really connected to it.
Yes. Yep. Yeah, that's where I have to. I mean, the problem is not the technical one. The technical one is more or less solved. The problem is now I know what I can do that. What do I do with it?
Right. So you basically went through as we all do, through the sounds of Omnisphere and say, okay, I know how it works now. Damn, now I have to play music.
Yes.
Yeah, that's a big hurdle to get over.
So when is Workbench going to be out? Is it out in a experimental version, or is it still not out yet?
It's in a very experimental version out for us.
Yeah.
Okay, it's not out yet.
No, it's not out yet. It's just
okay.
The plan is a couple of weeks. The real tricky part.
Would that be John style weeks?
No. No, it's getting really close. We've been working a lot on 2.0 and Branch and Workbench, but it needs a lot of underlying changes because we want to get rid of most of the things that has been frustrating people, like the low startup time. And to be able to do that, we had to restructure quite a lot of things, and we will rebuild all the factory setups with with some new features that have been added, and also to make them beautiful to show on Workbench, because the initial version of Workbench just displayed what was set up automatically, but then we realized that once you start working with more complex setups, you basically want it to behave a little bit as a CAD package, where you can really work on the visual representation of the setup that you're wiring together, so that everything stays at the same place and that you have control about how things, a bit like in MaxMSP, about things are presented on screen, and it just doesn't render what's already there. So we had to add this additional layer also in the setup so that it can understand the positioning of instruments of agents in a 2D space. This means that we have to rebuild all the factory setups also, so that they can be visually interesting and not just a conglomerate of squares layered on top of each other, because that will not be very useful to people.
I can't wait.
Gert, by the way, thanks for the hint to not have the base station running when you start loading the software. It makes quite a difference in the speed.
It does, yeah, it does. We're still experimenting with doing something like that automatically, but it's always a trade-off of removing, because what happens is basically as soon as Eigenharp starts up, it's a running system, and each time a section of a setup loads, it actually works. So it's as if you're manually plugging all these things together, and there's just one way of loading things, which is that way, and which means that you can load incremental setups. We'll just replug the agents in between, and everything will continue playing and continue working. So that's why we stuck to that model at this time, because this is a working environment that you just start rewiring.
Sure.
But as soon as it's running, it uses up CPU power. But I'm still thinking that maybe during the initial load, we should just, get it over with and load a setup, and then get it running as fast as possible. And then, if people want to start, incrementally load stuff, then maybe let it take a little bit longer. But we'll see. So yeah, we also did a lot of improvements. I don't know if you guys are doing that, but I'm doing that now all the time. I basically don't shove Eigenharp down anymore. I just put my computer to sleep and shut off the base station, and then as soon as you wake it up from sleep and turn the base station on, Eigenharp will wake up again and send all the information to the Eigenharp, and we'll just continue working, even if it slept for a long time. So.
Yeah, I'm doing that before rehearsals. I'm starting everything up at home. Then I just close the laptop and go to rehearsals and hope it still works. Because if I have, it does. Nowadays it does. I have figured it out how to make it stable so that everything still works. Especially not having Firefox in the background, because Firefox and Eigenharp somehow don't like each other. And the problem is probably not Eigenharp, the problem is Firefox. Firefox makes a lot of problems. I probably have to kick out the beta. If you use Firefox, don't use the newest beta. Okay. It doesn't like Eigenharp.
That's strange.
So Firefox thinks it should hawk all. I think the problem is because Eigenharp corresponds to this server, and Firefox thinks that everything going somewhere should be connected to itself and hawks everything. And then Eigenharp can't connect to anything and thinks, okay, what's happening now? So that's what I think is happening. Right. So Firefox and Eigenharp. See what happens. Yeah, I don't know if it's just my computer, but every time I have Firefox running and Eigenharp, and it's getting problems. And if I shut Firefox down, everything works.
Wow, that's strange. That's like saying my coffee is not hot because I put my washing machine on or something like that.
Yeah. But it is probably something like this if you look at electricity. I mean, there is sometimes not enough electricity, and if you put the coffee machine in, you maybe bust.
I know, yes. Could be a bandwidth issue, as you say, if it's hogging the ports. And
yes, somehow. But I tested it, and the problem is really not Eigen-D, the problem is Firefox.
Okay, well, I will definitely look into it because I want to know what's happening, just to make sure that it's not Eigen-D. But yeah, in the latest, in the last couple of weeks, we did a lot of work on sleep and resume from sleep. So you can definitely start relying on it now. I'm doing it all the time if you just want to win some time. And,
Okay.
Yeah. You guys, any other questions?
Just wanted to say, Antonio, I looked at module, module 8. I have looked at it before. My problem with it is it's just video. And I want to have all video, 3D, everything.
Okay.
Like everybody who has an Eigenharp, one thing is not enough.
Okay.
So, what are you showing, Mike?
Who, me?
Yes. You don't know.
I don't think I'm showing it.
Yes,
What?
you clicked on the YouTube button somehow. I don't know if you
I
realize.
probably did it by accident.
Okay, but if
Am I back?
Yeah, you're there. But if you click on YouTube button, just it is a feature of Google Plus. It allows you to watch videos all together.
Yeah.
Oh.
So we did that last time. Watched some Eigenharp videos. It's quite some fun. Yes.
Kid with new toy, finds button, pushes it.
Yes. The thing explodes. Kid goes crying.
Yeah, typically.
So yeah.
You don't want a 4-year-old playing with your Eigenharp unless you're right there, because they find all the buttons that change all the configurations, and in 2 seconds you're completely lost. You can't make it do anything.
And then they do Apple S, and it's saved. God damn!
Haven't gone that far yet, but I do know. Okay, you do not touch these lower keys up here. And they definitely like it. I'm giving music lessons to a 4-year-old, so it's been very interesting and very educational.
To see how they think and what they try out, right?
Oh yeah. And I don't like structure and confining things anyhow, so I'm trying to keep it as free as possible. The only rule is don't destroy anything, and it's very interesting because I have guitars and keyboards and hammered dulcimers and the Eigenharp and another MIDI controller on my Ableton, and she has so much fun with everything. And she's making pretty good progress, I think, considering it's a 4-year-old. I mean,
Cool, yeah.
attention span is limited.
That's a good bootstrapping into the modern age of music.
Yeah. I actually have her recording in Ableton. I think I'm going to take some of her recordings and use that as a basis for composition.
Inspiration from a 4-year-old. It's a nice title for a record.
Yeah, well,
That'd be better still not to confess.
Well, I'm a very non-traditional musician, I guess. I'm trying all sorts of unusual ways to come up with something new and different.
I would love to hear some of your stuff.
Well, I'm recording some of it out of Ableton right now because that's the only way I'm set up for is just rendering in Ableton. Mm-hmm. But I want to get myself a SoundCloud account, and I can show you some of the ideas, some of the things I'm using, I guess, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah.
I don't think I'm going to sell out any concerts recently, but that's not the point.
No, it's not. It's just having fun and exploring stuff.
Yeah, I mean, I just haven't seen a lot done with something really new and completely different with music. I mean, people have done it in the past. There's John Cage and Varese and some of those people, but I'm not seeing a lot currently, and that's more what I'm trying to figure out myself.
Yeah, well, interesting to see what explorations you're into. It's like Luxseeker is doing stuff like that also, right, Mike? On Luxseeker.
Yeah, he's doing a lot of interesting stuff. I think he was a little distracted at his laptop competition. It just, I think his set of music didn't match the audience expectations too well. And my take was, so what?
Yeah.
You know, his stuff's interesting stuff. Did you hear his water drop stuff?
Yeah, it sounded great. That's interesting.
No, I didn't hear that.
Yeah, he was the whole
Can you maybe
series of
post the link?
sounds and research into water dripping in different ways, and he put it on SoundCloud, I think.
Yeah, let me see if I can find it. I'll find the link if I can.
I don't know how to share a photo or something. This is old. Sometimes when people ask what's Eigen, this is fantastic. I don't remember where I got it.
Put it in front of your camera so that we can see it.
Yeah. I bet it's not rotating it. Let me see.
What's that?
Yeah. I think I was running. It's rotated. Yeah.
Clicking on it.
I think I was running the old browser or something, and it shows this up. It's all the connections between.
Oh, right, yeah.
Yeah. You maybe know it, but I didn't.
You shouldn't be able to look at that. You went through all the command line things and tried them out, right?
Yeah.
I like that.
I don't like very much programming, but sometimes I get.
What you
get
stumbled
time.
into was one of the early versions of the Workbench.
The Workbench, yeah.
Yes, but very early. It's got nothing to do with that nowadays.
Yeah.
It's,
Okay. Or it's Workbench.
It's visually in the same direction as Stage. Looks quite good.
Yeah. I can put this on Twitter. Let me see.
Look what I found.
Yeah.
Went through all the executables
Please
and
have
one
to come
worked.
out.
but it's very old. It's a screenshot, so let me see.
Yeah, but cheat sheet works too.
Yeah, months ago.
I mean, if I want to have just some fun with Eigenharp, I start that too, going through every executable, finding out what they do.
You can come up with a lot of things like that.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, the hour is over already. Wow.
Goes by quick.
So next
Well,
time,
nice to see you all.
Yeah, it's fun to
Nice
see
to
you
see you.
in real life, even over long distance, Mike. I was hoping that you would join one time or another.
Yeah, I intended to do it last week, and it's a long weekend here, and I just totally forgot about it. But thanks for setting them up.
Yeah, definitely.
Thank you.
If you guys have
I'm
any
very
questions,
impressed.
Do prepare them for the next Hangout, so then you can go over them, and I'll do my best to help you out if there's anything.
I'm impressed with how well this works and how easy it is. I mean, when you think about what's going on, I'm still just, my mind is going, wow, I'm doing this. I mean, I used to see it a couple of years ago on some futuristic television program about the future. This is what we'll have, like, oh yeah, sure. And wow, we're doing it. I mean, here we're having this video conference around a good part of the planet right now.
Definitely.
And it's working so good. Everybody would hear and see each other, and I love it.
Yeah.
Yeah, and today you just need a laptop. I mean, since every laptop has its webcam also, most laptops have it. So it's, fun.
Yeah, I'm just doing it on some of my batteries right now, which are almost run down. But
Yeah, I was talking about that with my girlfriend yesterday. She was like, because one of our kids is constantly on Skype, and she said, confiscate her webcam. And I can't. It's built into the screen.
Yeah.
Duct tape is your friend.
I'll just pry it out. Okay, well, nice seeing you all again,
Okay,
and see you next week, or on the forums, or
See you next.
Twitter and whatnot.
Take care.
Take
Yeah.
care. Bye.
Okay.
Take care.
Thank you
Bye-bye.
very much.
Bye.
Bye bye.